Every summer break, thousands of Indian students studying in Ireland look up at departures boards and plan escapes to Paris, Barcelona, or Amsterdam. But almost every year, some discover too late that their Irish residency permit does not actually give them the right to board a Ryanair flight to the continent. This map shows the Schengen area highlighted in blue. Ireland deliberately opted out of this agreement so it could maintain its common travel area with the United Kingdom instead. Because of that border policy, an Indian passport holder still requires a full Schengen visa, regardless of how many years they have legally lived in Dublin, Cork, or Galway. Navigating this specific border reality is the first required step to reaching the mainland. Your Irish residence permit, whether that is a Stamp 2 for full-time students or a Stamp 1G for graduates, grants you the right to live, work, and study in Ireland only. It offers absolutely no visa-free entry to the 29 Schengen states. You cannot use it as a substitute for a visa at the border, and it grants zero rights to transit through a Schengen airport. You also need to watch your flight routes closely. If your trip from Dublin to Europe connects through London Heathrow or Gatwick, and you have to clear UK immigration during the layover, you will need an entirely separate UK visa just to make that connection. While your residency card secures your legal status within Ireland, its role for European travel is limited to proving your right to apply from Dublin and your ties to the country. This flowchart illustrates the primary rule. Submit paperwork to the embassy of the Schengen country where you spend the majority of nights. If your itinerary splits your time evenly, the rule shifts. You must apply to the embassy of your first country of entry. Most Schengen countries process their Dublin applications through a third-party center called VFS Global. France and Italy are the main exceptions, handling applications directly through their own embassies. You will need to gather a strict set of documents. This includes travel insurance with 30,000 euros of medical coverage, a college enrollment letter, and Irish bank statements spanning the last 3 to 6 months. Getting those bank statements can cause unexpected delays. Certain banks, like AIB, require you to visit specific branches in person to get your statements physically stamped by a teller. The fixed EU embassy fee is 90 euros, plus a VFS service charge of about 25 to 35 euros. Plan for a standard 10 to 15 working days for processing, though this stretches up to 25 days during the peak summer rush. Treat this application process like a precise formula. Securing your paperwork early and correctly prevents delays at the VFS center and gets your passport back on time. As of April 2026, the traditional physical passport stand has been eliminated. You will now walk through these biometric gates, which use an automated digital registration system called EES. The system instantly records a facial photograph, 4 of your fingerprints, and activates a strict 180-day rolling timer to ensure you do not stay a single day past your visa limit. Be clear on what applies to you. This EES border system targets Indian passport holders directly. However, the ETIS travel authorization you might read about online does not apply to you, as that is built strictly for visa-exempt nationalities like the US and UK. The transition from human border guards with ink stamps to algorithmic enforcement means overstays are flagged instantly. Absolute compliance with your exact visa dates is mandatory. Once your visa clears, the payoff is immediate. Destinations like Lisbon, Barcelona, Amsterdam, Berlin, and Vienna become entirely accessible for short weekend trips. By booking budget carriers like Ryanair or Aer Lingus 4 to 6 weeks in advance, you can frequently secure return flights for as little as 30 to 50 euros. This itemized chart proves the math. Even when you factor in your flights, the heavy fixed visa fees, travel insurance, and hostel accommodation, a 4-day trek to Lisbon can total roughly 300 to 440 euros. To keep costs down on the ground, use an Irish bank account or a euro-native fintech card like Revolut. When a payment terminal asks you to choose between euros and rupees, always pick euros to bypass massive dynamic currency conversion fees. Your Stamp 2 requires an extra layer of bureaucracy, but once you account for the border rules and optimize your budget, travel to the continent becomes a standard part of your time in Ireland.